with it really well. We have two more, actually. Our next guest, Mr. Kelvin Sharpe from Basingstoke. He did stand up in his 20s and he wants to see if he can still do it. It's just change your jokes in your 30s, I would imagine. And he's only done 5 times before, but it was 10 years ago. So he's virtually a newbie. His name is Mr. Kelvin Sharpe. Make him feel welcome. Please start the clapping. Lots of love to Mr. Kelvin Sharpe.
Thank you. Good evening. It's actually quite nice to be finally holding a mic. Up until now, I've been rehearsing with just a shampoo bottle. Not mine, obviously. The idea is I am here to entertain, or at least take up some of your time. You might come to regret it. I'm actually a stripper. But you are safe. I only go down to my neck. You still get people who strip off and then they run across the field at sporting events like football matches, cricket matches. I've never seen anyone trying it during ice hockey. What if you ran fully clothed across a nudist camp? Would you get a big burly steward chase after you and then tear your clothes off? And he's wearing nothing but a high-vis tunic. It's not a personal fantasy. But they reckon vigorous exercise releases the same endorphins as taking cocaine. But then you can't snort a treadmill off a hooker's stomach, can you? I'm not sure which part of that would be the personal fantasy. The councils keep trying to ban teenagers wearing hooded tops in their town centres. Apparently the hoods obscure their faces from the cameras. So does the dark. What if it gets cold and they need their hoods? It's a lot harder to look tough when you're wearing earmuffs. Last time I went through the town centre, I was approached by a woman trying to sell me Lucky Heather. Now, she had an armful of the stuff and she was having to wander the streets in the freezing cold selling foliage for a living. It's not the most effective marketing hook. But in England, we complain about the cold, but then we're never quite sure what to do with the heat. For example, in Spain, if it's hot, they have a siesta. In Rio, they have a street party. In England, we put the washing out. And then when it is hot, we get wasps, and you'll get one buzzing around your head, and you'll be flinching away from it. And there's always someone who has to say, you know, it's more afraid of you than you are of it. Oh, really? And that's why it's flying in my face, is it? Like, I can always tell how scared of me something is by its proximity to my nose. And we continue to get more and more extreme weather. For example, hurricanes are incredibly destructive. Why are so many of them given such nice, gentle female names? Last year we had Florence and Patty and Joyce. There must be some really unhappy lads in the Met Office who keep being dumped by their girlfriends. Then you get news reports telling you that protesters... It was there. It's fine. My brain's protesting, that's what's... You get news reports telling you that protesters broke into a secure area. In that case, it wasn't secure. That should just be protesters broke in. Wasn't worth it. But in between the news reports you get, there's an advert telling you that breast milk is the best protection for your baby. Not so. Guard dog. There used to be quite ominous warnings from the government telling you about paying a car tax. If you haven't paid your car tax, we'll find you. Why can't they show the same enthusiasm when it comes to murderers? And how difficult is it to find car tax dodgers? You look out for the cars that don't have it. I considered joining the police for a while, but I couldn't get past the application stage. Where it said ethnic origin, I put African. How far back do you want to go? If you go back about 3,000 years, that's when the Persians began making their incredibly beautiful, very ornate carpets. And they'd spend months making these things by hand, only they'd always leave out one knot, because if it was finished, it would be perfect. And only God can be perfect. Now, isn't that the best excuse you've ever heard for shoddy workmanship? You get your car back from the shop or something, and it's still got that knocking sound in the engine. The guy says, well, we would have fixed it, but if we had, it would be perfect. And only God, shut up and fix my car. It's time for me to shut up now. I want to thank you for letting me do this. You've been outstanding. All the best. Good night.
Calvin Sharpe, ladies.